le miroir et le bouclier de la nation québécoise.
It's being billed as a mirror and a shield for the Quebec nation, a constitution the CAQ says will protect the province's identity. It's important to advance the Quebec nation, says Premier François Legault, not just to wait for the big night of sovereignty or the referendum.
A few thousand people waved royal blue Alberta flags Saturday in front of the legislature, declaring their province would be better off without Canada.
And by the way, Quebec, when we met with Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, the leader of the Parti Québécois, towards the end of September, he also said when he becomes premier next year and they have a referendum on sovereignty, that they will acknowledge Alberta's sovereignty subsequent to a referendum as well.
So it might happen that as Quebec's sovereignty movement, independence movement grows in strength, and probably Alberta's same movement grows in strength, you'll find federal politicians nervous saying, okay, let's renegotiate in good faith. I think we've been through that once it's done. So once Quebec declares independence, I think if Alberta declares independence, Quebec will follow, saying same here.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see that.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing that people are not paying a ton of attention to, because I think at this point in time, at least in Canada and internationally even, Alberta is deservedly so getting most of the attention when it comes to the sovereignty topic. But Quebec has been moving, and I mean, they've been doing this for decades and decades. Their sovereignty movement is well more advanced than ours when it comes to institutionalization of it. I'm fairly certain that the governing party at their National Assembly, can't speak French, at their National Assembly, they unveiled their own constitution, didn't they? Are you aware of that?
Well, I think this is interesting to think about. When King Charles was here for the opening of Parliament in the spring, the entire Quebec legislature, so all the parties in Quebec that form the Quebec legislature, in a unanimous vote, voted to end the relationship with the monarchy.
The voting is complete. Mr. Secretary General, for the result of the vote.
106 for, none against, no abstentions.
So this motion is adopted. Mr. Deputy of Matane Metapedia.
Madam President, we would like to send the result of this motion to the Canadian Prime Minister and Buckingham Palace.
It is being redone, Mr. Deputy. So we will continue.
And Mr. Plamondon's Parti Québécois, which has won the last 3 by-elections and is leading massively in the polls right now, is very likely to become the governing party in Quebec. And he said to us at that meeting towards the end of September that when he becomes premier, he will remove the lieutenant governor as well. So if you think about Quebec, they never signed the Constitution Act 1982. They have already jettisoned the monarchy, and they're going to get rid of the lieutenant governor. Ostensibly, they're already a sovereign country.
Yeah.
And Section 155 of the Supreme Court analysis of the Quebec secession reference would conceivably give them the right to declare their sovereignty unilaterally and without a referendum.
Oh,
So they're right now preparing a constitution for Quebec, okay? And that constitution for Quebec basically will get them out from under federal control of just about anything. So at that point, you see where I think I'm going with this. This is my understanding of the constitution that they are going to be putting forth in the near future. I don't believe it's released yet, but it's coming up. And that's the implication of it.
Oh, that's very serious. And like you said, the Parti Québécois, which is the party that Paul St. Pierre is leading, they're way ahead in the polls. They are expected to sweep their election. Yeah. And they've won the previous by-elections that they've had. So Things are about to get very interesting in North America, particularly in Quebec and Alberta, as referendums are imminent.
The people here already know they'd vote yes. At the rally, some like Colin Krumka believe federal equalization payments and environmental laws have limited Alberta.
I've worked 44 years in the oil patch, and the East has always taken from here and abused us. And I'm sick and tired of it.
Yeah, and of course the federal party, which is the Bloc Québécois, which only exists in Quebec, will be working hand in glove with the Parti Québécois to bring about a successful referendum if they actually want to actually go ahead with a referendum. Because can you imagine, what would Ottawa do if they just declared their independence unilaterally? I don't think they could do very much. But the implications already are interesting for us here in Alberta, because if Quebec is no longer part of a constitutional monarchy, because they've gotten rid of the monarchy, then why are they getting $14 billion of equalization payments? And we give $14 billion to the equalization formula, you see. But Mr. Plamondon said something very important that I think your listeners need to understand, and that is that the reason they want Quebec to become a sovereign country is because they want to preserve their language, their culture, and they want to get out from under federal political corruption. And Mr. Plamondon said very clearly that that $15 billion that Quebec receives is used to corrupt the political system. And we don't need that $14 billion, because when we're out from under all federal regulation and taxation, our fiscal capacity surplus will exceed that $14 billion. So we'll have more money available to us in a sovereign Quebec when the federal government isn't controlling us anymore. So I thought that was very interesting.
Wow. I've said on this channel a couple of times now, at least, that I don't believe Canada survives as a country. I think we're going to be looking at the balkanization, and I take no pleasure in saying this, but I think we're witnessing the balkanization of Canada in real time. Regional differences are becoming more pronounced, not only culturally with Quebec, which obviously culturally, but financially, as in Quebec seems to be moving forward very firmly and very quickly. So Canada is looking a lot like Yugoslavia before it fell apart. Hey, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to be notified every time a new video is published, hit the subscribe button and activate the notifications bell. It's completely free and it helps our channel grow. A heartfelt thank you to all our channel members. I really appreciate your support. See you all in the next one. Peace.